Good morning.
I'm going to ask you just to speak slowly and clearly. Bear in mind the court will be taking note of the evidence that you'll give. Could you please state your full name for the benefit of the court?
Sure. Dr. Sam Sleuth.
And Dr. Sleuth, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Please describe for the court a bit of your educational background.
Sure. I obtained my master's and doctorate in forensic psychology from Walden University.
And how many times have you been called to be an expert witness?
About 30 times.
And how much are you paid for giving your testimony today?
I'm not being paid for my testimony, I'm being paid for my time.
Dr. Sleuth, did you perform an evaluation of Mr. Bumble?
I did.
And why were you asked to perform this evaluation?
The purpose for this evaluation was to determine whether Mr. Bumble is competent to stand trial.
And what legal definition is applicable to the referral question you addressed when assessing Mr. Bumble?
Okay, the legal definition of competency to stand trial is basically if the individual can confer with his attorneys to help with his defense, and also if he has a rational understanding of the factual proceedings of a court case.
Now, Dr. Sleuth, what procedures or tests did you perform in your evaluation?
Sure. The procedures I performed on Mr. Bumble are the Welchler Adult Intelligence Scale, the Minnesota Multiphasic Personality Test, the Personality Assessment Inventory, the Rorschach and Block Test, the Bender-Motor Gestalt Test, the Bender-Motor Gestalt Immediate Recall Test, the Ray 15 Item Test, the Psychopathy Checklist Revised, and also a structured interview of reported symptoms.
Dr. Sleuth, did you make a record of your findings when you conducted your evaluation?
Yes, I did.
And where did you make that record?
In my journal.
And do you have that journal with you today?
Yes, sir.
Would you be able to recall your findings without referring to that journal?
No, I wouldn't.
Your Honor, may I have permission for the witness to refer to her journal during these proceedings?
Permission granted. Proceed.
Thank you.
Dr. Sleuth, what were the results of your evaluation?
Based on my initial evaluation, it showed Mr. Bumble showed signs of having a thought process disorder, and he also displayed below average cognitive functioning, which in turn was being affected by the thought process disorder. The results of the Welchler Adult Intelligence Scale, which is used to test possible defects in intellectual functioning, indicate that Mr. Bumble's general cognitive ability is in the extremely low range. His verbal reasoning abilities are in the borderline range, and his nonverbal reasoning abilities are in the extremely low range. The Working Memory Index test is used to evaluate a person's ability to deal with verbally presented information, process this information, and make a response to it. And according to these results, Mr. Bumble experiences significant difficulty with holding information and performing specific tasks. Based on the personality tests I conducted, it shows that Mr. Bumble has difficulty concentrating and holding attention. He's also easily frightened, and he says he's losing his mind. He's also suspicious and very distrustful of others, and his behavior is unpredictable and inappropriate at times. He also misperceives events, which leads him to form mistaken impressions of people and the significance of their actions.
Thank you, Doctor. In your expert opinion, is Mr. Bumble competent to stand trial?
Based on the evaluations conducted, I would say he's not competent.
Doctor, did you arrive at a diagnosis for Mr. Bumble?
I did.
And what was that diagnosis?
I concluded that Mr. Bumble is suffering from chronic paranoid type schizophrenia.
Can you describe to the court the reasons for this diagnosis?
Sure. According to the Diagnostic Statistical Manual, the symptoms for paranoid type schizophrenia are auditory hallucinations, paranoid delusions, and disorganized speech. And in my evaluation of Mr. Bumble, he's experiencing many of these symptoms. For example, he thinks that the devil is behind his condition, and that vampires and aliens are also behind it, and also that the devil is out to get him. He thinks that one of his attorneys, is a drug dealer. So based on these hallucinations and delusions as examples, I arrived at the conclusion that he's suffering from paranoid type schizophrenia.
Doctor, is this diagnosis considered a mental disease or defect?
Yes, it is.
And why is it so considered?
Okay, a mental disease or defect affects the way a person thinks and feels. It also affects their mood and how they relate to others. Based on his hallucinations and delusions, and also the fact that he is very distrustful of others, I would say that it is a mental defect or disorder.
Thank you, Doctor. In your expert opinion, is Mr. Bumble in a position to understand the proceedings today?
No, I don't think so. Based on my evaluation, I say he's not.
Thank you, Doctor. Do you think Mr. Bumble understands what he's charged with?
No, I don't. No, I don't think so either.
Doctor, do you think that Mr. Bumble is in a position, in your expert opinion, to work with his attorney to successfully defend this claim?
No, I don't. I don't think so. Because one of his, as I said before, he thinks one of his attorneys is a drug dealer, and he also says that the attorney is relating to him through a television set. And based on his paranoia and his distrust of others, I do not think that he would be able to give a factual account of information in order to help prepare his defense.
Thank you, Doctor. Do you have any other information that you believe would be helpful to the court about Mr.
No, I don't.
Thank you very much, Doctor.